Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Baking with Brando. So it's the back end of October, and that means it's spooky season, which also means pumpkin. Lots and lots of pumpkin. I can't get enough of these squash-like looking creatures. Today we're making a pumpkin pie cheesecake, and there's a few steps to it, but it starts with a graham cracker crust. So let's hop to it. Into a bowl, we got some brown sugar, some melted butter, some cinnamon, and some baking soda. I'm gonna mix that up real quick. I don't know why I didn't add that baking soda into my flour, by the way. That's usually a good place to add your floof powders. But anyways, we'll add some honey, mix it up again, and then I think I added a little bit of vanilla. Yeah, there it is. So now that we got all our wet in, we're gonna start adding our flour. It's whole wheat flour, fun fact. That's something I didn't know before I started making graham crackers. I'm just gonna mix. It comes to like a sandy consistency. Then at the end, we're gonna add our milk. And this is just gonna bring the whole mixture together. You don't wanna add too much. I'm honestly just eyeballing this at this point. Slowly adding it, and then I'm gonna start kneading it a little bit just to see if it's holding. It looks like it is. I'm gonna give it a few squishes, and then we're gonna shape it up on the counter. We're gonna get ready to pop this in the fridge, because you can't work with that dough right away. It's gonna need to rest for a little bit. By resting, we're doing a couple of things. Firstly, we're giving our gluten a chance to chill out, which is always great when you're working with flour. And secondly, we're giving that butter a chance to stiffen up, so that when this dough hits the counter, it'll actually stay stiff and be something we can roll and work with. So I'm not really turning this into a cracker, like I'm turning it into a powder, so I don't care too much about how it looks. My plan is just to flatten it as much as I can so that when I bake it, I can get it really dry, because I'm gonna pop this in the food processor later. So I'm just gonna score this with a couple forks real quick, and we're gonna get ready to spin around and chuck it in the oven. So this is gonna bake for about 10 to 15 minutes. I did a quick time lapse on it. It looks super uneventful. Once again, is what it is. And once we get these cooled and dried, we're gonna break it. So I'm gonna throw this in the food processor and really give it a blast. Like, I don't want any chunky bits. I want this to be like a powder, because we're gonna use this for our crust. So now that we got a nice fine powder, we're just gonna portion this out, throw it in a deli cup, and we're gonna get ready to move on to the next step. So we're making a graham cracker crust here. It's super easy. It's just some graham crackers, some sugar, gonna mix it up a wee bit, and then we're gonna pour some melted butter. You just wanna saturate this mixture. Make it so it's something you can really form into a ball. I'm gonna pour it in my teeny tiny pan here, and I'm just gonna press it down. I found that using my fingers was not the best method. The blue spatula was, because that thing fits goddamn perfectly. We'll pop this back in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes, not too long. You just wanna set it with a bit of heat. And we'll move on to our next step, which is a cheesecake filling. I'm a bit of a hack. I used the recipe right off the box, but I did try and jazz it up a wee bit. We'll start by mashing our cream cheese a little bit. You just wanna make it something that's like malleable, right? We'll add in our sugar. I double cracked the eggs because I thought it looked great for the internet, but when you add that much liquid to fat, it will not mix easy. So we grabbed our hand mixer here just to make this process a little faster. I'm gonna add some heavy cream in, loosen it up, some vanilla, some lemon zest, and a touch of flour just for setting. You could probably get away with using cornstarch here, but I got gluten in my crust, so I'm not too concerned about a gluten-free meal. There we go, there's that crust. We'll pour our cheesecake filling in it, get as much as we can. Then I'm gonna try and pumpkinify this, and we added some pumpkin pie filling that's been not baked yet. And I thought I'd dollop that around and just give it a bit of a swirl. And that really did infuse the flavor. So we're going back in the oven now. I've got this oven down to about 300. You don't wanna bake this too hot. I don't wanna get color on there. I just let it go for about 35, 40 minutes. You don't wanna overbake your cheesecake too, or it's gonna start cracking on top, and that looks not very appealing. We're getting into the fun part of this dessert now, so we're gonna do a tuile batter. We got some sugar and some butter going in a bowl. We're gonna mix that up real nice, then we're gonna add our egg whites. Egg whites is our main binder here, and it's got this cool ability that once we pull these cookies out of the oven, we should be able to fold and mold them a bit. We'll add our flour in here, mush it together, so we get a nice batter-like consistency. There we go, that looks good to me. So we're gonna pour this into a deli cup, and we're gonna get ready to move on to the next step. So I made this mold earlier, and I'll be honest with you all, I am completely ripping this idea off from a great pastry chef who I used to work with. I really respected the guy, and I liked his ideas, so what better place to steal them and show them to people than the internet? You notice I poked some holes in there, and that was for a particular reason. I don't quite want to spoil it yet, but we're gonna use that hole later when we finally plate this dessert. I'm just piping some little S's and dots, just, you know, little bits to flatter. We'll pop these in the oven for about 7 minutes, and then we're gonna pull them out one by one. And I've got a pizza stone here, which I got pre-warmed up, because my counters were so cold I found these cookies were just setting instantly and driving me bananas. So I got a few action shots of me spinning these around. That's actually the inside of one of those industrial saran wrap rolls. You can use those for quite a few things, I learned. So I just take them when I see them, and I plan on using them for arts and crafts. So that's our last little shot. Just gonna show you the cookie up close and cross that off the list. So we're moving on to our next step, and this is a blackberry coulis. I know I added some blueberries there, but just don't look. We'll call it a dark berry coulis, I guess. We got some sugar, some fruits, some lemon, a little bit of salt, and we throw that in a pot and just bring it to a boil and reduce. I like to reduce it till it starts feeling a little syrupy, and then I can kind of add liquid and adjust as needed while I'm blending. We'll pass this through a fine mesh strainer so we get a really nice consistency. So we've done it. We're on to our last step, and that's to make a quick chocolate garnish. I'm gonna start by melting some white chocolate, and then I'm gonna temper this stuff. So we're doing the seed method here. I added a few more chips that are already stabilized, and we're just gonna mix it around and then throw it down on the counter. By moving it back and forth, we are encouraging crystallization as well, so this is gonna help with the tempering process. So I did move it around quite a bit there because I do not want to do this more than once. I was getting pretty tired at this point. I'm just going to clean it up, flatten it out, and we're going to get ready to roll off those cigarettes. Nice. It kind of looks like I know what I'm doing here, but I'll be honest with you, there were more failed attempts to start than there were successful. I just don't show those because it's not very good content. What I'm hoping is good content, though, is what's about to hit this plate. So we got our blackberry coulis. We got some chantilly cream. I got a cookie ring, that's our tuile. Pop that down. And then we're just gonna pipe some chantilly on top of this. Again, chantilly is just a fancy way of saying whipped cream with sugar. I got pumpkin pie filling here. I pre-cooked that in the oven and let it set overnight, and then I mushed it up in a bowl and just popped it in my piping bag. That was what I did for that pumpkin pie that we did last time, and I thought, why not? Gotta keep this method going. Just got our raspberries. I'm gonna throw some mint on there, because the mint is pretty. And boom. That was the plan. Put the dessert in the ring, pop the cigarette in through the hole. Nice. So that's the ice cream that we made in our last video too. And there's that blackberry coulis. I'm just gonna do some dots here. I don't wanna overdo it. I did plate this a few times, and I found the more dots I put, the worse off this became. So there it is. That's our finished product. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. If you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next one.